Hey YouTube, this is Bernie from Dry Creek Homestead. Today we're at Atwood's. We're going to get some feed, specifically cattle cubes. Normally don't shop at Atwood's too much, not because I have anything against them, but just because it's a little bit of a drive for us. But normally we shop at a feed store and our local feed store and get our feed from there. But when I called them on the cubes, they were $13.49 at the feed store in town versus $12.49 here at Atwood's. So it's about $1 a sack cheaper, and so we're going to save $1 a sack and go shopping a little bit. But two, we're going to take you along and we're going to show you some of the prices that they have and how inflation is affecting prices on the homestead. So we'll see you inside. All right, so we're standing here at the dog food, and you see it's running about $25 for a sack. So dog food's kind of about where it was, I guess. It's all about the, well, that there is $40 for one sack of dog food. Daggone. Now get a pet gazebo, so you can get a gazebo for your dog, and it's only 60 bucks. Well, I guess they got a smaller one for 38, but yeah, I don't know what the world's coming to. It's kind of funny. All right, so if you have rabbits, your rabbit feed is about $20 a sack right now. Everything's just kind of getting crazy. We finally kind of gotten over to the feed area here, and so let's kind of look around and see. Trying not to, sorry about the video, I'm trying not to film anybody that doesn't want to be filmed. So there's your milk replacer. My gosh, it's $40 for a bag of milk replacer. That is, sorry, I got my finger in the way. So milk replacer is getting really high, and 12%. This is a high energy. This is like a backgrounding ration, what you'd background some calves on after you got them weaned off their mamas, and they're $20 a sack. And this is your breeders cubes, and that's what we actually came for today, and they're thankfully they're $12.49 a sack today. But then you have your creep feed, and you give this to your calves while they're still on their mama, and if you're doing that, and that's 12%. So feed's just really high, and if you can get away without having to feed the feed, you're doing a lot better off. If you can either grow your own or do some other thing, because just everything is getting higher these days. At least the bedding for the chicken coop, is still $5.49. I don't know how well that's going to focus in there, but so that's not terrible, but that's not as big of a bale as we normally get from feed store. So anyway, so yeah, prices are high. All right, folks, this is why I don't like shopping at what I call city slicker stores like Atwood's and Tractor Supply, because now I got to push 500 pounds of feed all over the store. It's something else. So we're only going to get 10 sacks because I'm just not going to get any more than that and push them all over the store. So yeah, that's one benefit to the feed store. You back up to a loading dock and they load you up. All right, folks, so we're here at the mineral, and so we have really low copper in our soils. So a vet told me you want a mineral that's got 2,200 parts per million on copper, and what they sell here only has 1,000. So, and it's 40 bucks to boot. So we won't be getting a mineral here. I'll just get that from the feed store. But just pay attention to labels and know what your livestock need based on your soil. That's why a soil test is good to have. So anyway, all right, so now we're over here by the pig feed. So they got goat feed, and it's still about $19 a sack, but then they have pig feed, and this is just pellets, $17 a sack. So they're higher than the feed store, but we'll probably get one sack anyway, just because we got to have it. So I'll get the rest of it at our feed store, but it'll be closed by the time we get over there. So because they close at noon on Saturdays, so we'll go ahead and get it here for one sack anyway. So one other thing about why I don't like to shop at big box stores to buy feed, and that being Atwoods or Tractor Supply, is that the sacks, if you look at the feed sacks, they're plastic or something made out of plastic, something like that. And there's nothing you can do about that. So that is just waste. When we get it at our feed store, the sacks are paper, and so we can actually cut those sacks down the side, fold them out flat, and then we lay them down in our vegetable garden, either in the walkways or on the beds themselves, and that's ground cover to help keep weeds down. And they decompose in the soil. These, you cannot do that. You could put them on the ground, but they're never going to decompose into the soil, and in my opinion, it's just not a good thing to have in your garden, especially with all the ink that's on the bags. You have all those chemicals from that ink in your soil, especially if you use them up on top of the beds. So that's one of the big reasons I don't like, besides having to push the buggies around with the feed. That's one thing I really don't like about the box stores and their feed sacks, is mainly just the feed sacks, because they're not paper, they're some sort of plastic, and I don't know what that is. But so we're back here at one of our farms where we have cattle, and it's not our home farm, but we're gonna get this unloaded, and I'll have to go back to our normal feed store here this week when they're open and get the rest of the feed there, because this 10 sacks, this one cattle panel and one sack of dog food, which is in the back of the truck, was $185. So these 10 sacks, that's going to last a week. So you know, that's not very long. So you can kind of see how expensive the feed bill is on a homestead if you're not growing any of your own feed. If this is all you fed, you know. So the feed itself, the cattle feed, was $125 for 10 sacks. So if you had to feed this all winter long to supplement your hay, because we had a really bad hay crop this year because we had a really bad drought, so the hay is just not worth anything. And right now we're kind of mob grazing our hay meadow. We didn't get cut, kind of like Greg Judy does, but that forage is so low quality, we're having to supplement with some higher protein and energy to keep the cows from losing weight. So like I said, if you had to buy feed all the time and that's all you could do, it'd get real expensive real quick. And so that's one thing, and one thing that we're going to focus on more this year in the garden, and I'm going to do a series on that, is we're going to start growing a lot more of our own feed out of the garden. And there's several different things you can do that, but that's another video and another series for another time. But thank you for tuning in today. Please like and subscribe, and if you like the video, please give us a thumbs up. Bye.